그렇게 보시면 올라가요. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Let me get some music going here. Go back, go back, go back. Happy Wednesday. It is hopefully a happy Wednesday for you. Mine wasn't bad. Let's play this. No. There we go. A little bit smaller. A little bit lighter. Okay. So, hi everyone. Hello. Madness, Gotham. Hello everybody. Stigma. Sharky. Good to see you all. So I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea what I was doing today. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So what I wanted to do was start off a lot. Ooh, wait, you know what? Hold on. Let me not announce that yet because I didn't go live on Instagram. So give me a second here because I want to make sure everybody knows. Let's see. Go live. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so now we can talk about it. All right, so what's the goal for today? So what I wanted to do was a live tutorial series that will A, be live, and B, be available afterwards if somebody misses a stream, like whatever. So the thing is that I had no idea what I wanted to model. So I was thinking things, my wife had brought up an ice cream cone. There were a whole bunch of things that I was thinking that I could have done, but I wanted to find something that I wanted to actually enjoy making. And I was sitting here staring at my speaker, which is mounted right here in front of my camera. And I decided, well, hell, we should model that. So we're gonna be modeling a speaker. So how do we start? Where do we start? What do we do? So first thing is to gather reference. If you haven't gathered reference, which you probably haven't because you're watching this live or you're just now opening this, there will be reference provided in the bio of the video or the description of the video after the stream. But if you're looking to get some reference and you're watching this on one of the larger platforms, you can either screenshot this if you'd like, or whatever you'd like to do. Or you can just look up the Klipsch icon bookshelf speaker. And then I have a couple other little pieces here just to show interiors of parts, because I'm going to model all of that because I want to make sure I have all of the detail in there. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really done anything that's super hyper real life ish. So I figured a bookshelf speaker would be kind of fun, be a little challenge. I haven't really done anything with wood in a long time, so we'll play with some wood materials with this throughout the series. And this will probably only be 2 or 3 streams, which is really cool. So there's an opportunity to learn along with me or learn after the fact. Today, hard surface modeling. Yes. Madness, I'm doing great, man. How are you? So yeah, so this series will be live. So if you're watching this on a VOD, sorry you missed it live, but it's going to be live. I'm thinking every Wednesday. I think every Wednesday we're going to do this because that's when I get 3 hours to, really get in there and work on things. So without further ado, we're going to start. So if you haven't screenshotted this yet, screenshot it. If you're watching the VOD, it's in the description somewhere. But I'm going to keep this over on my monitor over here just because that's kind of how I work. And I haven't configured it yet to where I can pull up multiple screens on this secondary PC yet. So we're just going to kind of keep going there. This evening has been quite super chill. That's good. I'm glad. It's good to have a super chill evening. Well, I hope that continues, man. Today was almost a chill day for me. Bidgen 3D, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate it. Hey, Madness, can you do me a favor? Because I know you're subscribed to me. Can you test out the new point redemption real quick? I want to see if it's working. See if it works. No, not that one. It's the BD1 one. Hey, Kelsey. There it is. It is working. Beautiful. Perfect. Thank you, buddy. How you doing, Kelsey? I have uploaded my recent work, sir. And I told missing of normal and height map. How important is the height map in Marmoset and my... I mean, if you're trying to get that detail in there, like it's important. Like you don't want your model to look super flat, because if it looks super flat, you're not getting that depth that you created, and so it is kind of important to have in there. Let's see, got a couple things. Emmanuel Ramirez, you've been carrying me through college. Hey, I'm glad. I wish I had something when I was in college, so I'm glad that I could be that for you. Was that the robot clip you made? Yes, it is an alert on Twitch, or redemption on Twitch. So what I did is I took, so the redemptions that are going to be active on Twitch for those like more complex projects, I made them subscriber only, just because like there is a lot of work that gets put into those. So I want to make sure that they're, you know, enjoyed by people who do subscribe to the channel, but they're fun, and there's going to be more of them. Uwu Master Uwu, thank you for the follow on Twitch. But yeah, no, I mean, he's super cool. He turned out really good. And I'm going to be doing more. So eventually that alert, when it's redeemed, it's going to do different things. So it'll have like a list of different animations it can play through. Make a game asset live, that's my request. I wish I made game assets. I am breaking into that territory a little bit, but very slowly. So it's going to be a while before I do stuff like that. But all right, so we're going to make this speaker. So once again, this is what we're modeling today. And this is going to be a live tutorial series on all platforms and then YouTube as a VOD. But let's get started. So let's set up our project real quick. So we're going to go project window, new. I call this speaker underscore live underscore tutorial. Is that folder? Yeah, that folder's good. And then accept. Cool, so our project folder's set. So the only other thing I'm thinking I might do... that's fine. Okay. So because this is a speaker, we don't really have to block it out all that much. Hey, thanks for the helpful tutorial. It's been carrying me through college. Thank you so much. I'm glad they're helping you, man. That's kind of the goal, is to fill in where, like, especially with people who are in college, like to fill in where you guys aren't getting information, because I know there was a lot of stuff that I missed when I was in school that just wasn't taught to us, and I think that's super important to have that as a resource now. So, you know, the internet's a cool place. Let's make it cooler for artists. But, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start the speaker here. So we know this is kind of a rectangle shape, especially because I'm literally staring at one. So we're gonna go ahead and just scale this up. It's a little bit thicker than normal, so probably about right there. And then usually that doesn't, that's gonna affect it. Okay, so hold on a second. We'll go to Polycube. We're gonna just add a couple subdivisions so we have some more geo to work with. And then this will be our speaker body. Okay. So this thing's kind of interesting because we have the square body. We have 6 holes. These are little rubber inserts that hold the mesh on there. And then we have this plastic guard, which is in 2 pieces. So there's a plastic piece that surrounds the speaker woofer, and then there's one that surrounds the outer body of the tweeter. Both of these are kind of seen here, so this is what they look like on the backside. So we're going to be modeling all these details. We want to just make sure we get all of that in there. So, and then of course the rear of the speaker, which you can see that inner detail, which is really nice because that tells me I got the right part number. And then this little piece. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. What are we modeling today? So this is a live tutorial. We're going to be modeling the speaker. So if you want to follow along, you guys are welcome to follow in. That's the thing with this. So if this is something that you decide you want to follow along with, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to say you're having issues with anything, whatever. This is kind of live for you guys to learn. And then if you miss portions or whatever, there's still always going to be the VOD on my main channel on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you're not. But, all right, so let's look at this. So I know for a fact that I need to kind of divide this up a little bit. And what I want to do is I'm going to actually just kind of, I am going to block it just a tad bit, but not in like a traditional sense. So I just want to see where my woofer sits. And yeah, that's probably about fine. There's a little bit of a gap at the bottom, but not much. Scale it up just a tad bit. Okay, and so that's cool. And then let's just do another little box here, a little cube. And this is just gonna kind of help me set up my geometry a little bit. Because these are not super important. Let's see, so this goes up. But it doesn't really go up that high, which tells me my speaker's a little bit too big. Because that's about as big as it should be. So we're gonna take these verts and drop them a bit. And that gives us our kind of our body. Now the reason I keep looking up again, I have one of these speakers literally right here, so I'm looking at it. I figured it would be a good way to do this. Working on a personal environment right now. Probably revisit the VOD to follow along. Nice, that's good. Yeah, that's the reason for the VODs too. Is so if you guys decide you want to, a good portfolio piece. Like if you want to model something and put it in your portfolio, this will probably be a good tutorial for that. If we make a small model, hold on. Let me turn my music down just a tad bit. It's probably a little bit loud. If we make a small model like this, do we need to create a scene for background for nice presentation, or it's not needed? It's recommended. And let me show you kind of why. So the reason we do this, right? The reason we kind of like do that presentation, because you're modeling like a static object, like a prop almost, what we want is we want to see like a better, hold on, let me pull this up. Kind of a better representation of it. So like, you don't have to get crazy with it. Do something simple. This is just a plane and a plane with a wood texture and a marble texture that I got on Megascans, which are free right now, by the way. And that's all I did. So really, you don't have to do anything crazy. For this one, I'll likely just set up a little bookshelf and put 2 speakers on it, or I'll just put 2 speakers and make some wires or something. Nothing too crazy. You don't have to get too crazy with them. Just enough to kind of separate your object from the background. Even this one was kind of a problem because the color that I chose for the background clashes with the color of the object. So wasn't necessarily the best choice, but you know, it worked out. But it's a good habit to be in. It's obviously never required. You can just model and throw it up there, but it makes your portfolio look a little bit better. Okay, so let's look at this. So I could just Boolean difference this, but that would just cause me more pain than it's worth. Especially because I really don't necessarily want to deal with that. But what we can do is we're going to build the geo kind of around this. So we're going to go into my modeling tab. We're going to go mesh tools. We're going to go offset. And we're going to just line everything up really well. So that lines up with that really nicely. And then we'll do, yeah, that's fine. This does need to be a little bit higher. So we're going to go right about here. Does it need to go higher, or does this need to go low? I think this needs to go lower, is what I'm seeing here. So we'll just do that. Yeah, because there's this nice, like, kind of trim on the outside of this. And it gets slightly larger there. Yeah, that's what we want. In fact, we're going to expand this just a tad bit. And then we're going to take these and just blow them out just a tad bit. Okay, cool. That's better, because we have this like nice border along it, and it we want to match it up as best as possible to the reference here. So same thing down here. We're going to go mesh tools, insert edge loop. This is going to be the barrier kind of piece. And this is actually, this needs to be adjusted a little bit. So let's look at this from our front view. We're going to go on wireframe, and let's tweak this a little bit. So I know for a fact I want that there, and then this is going to be kind of like my little border. So we'll do that. That should be okay. All right, so what do we do about the circle? So we're going to do the circularize tool, but we need to give some actual structure to this. So we're going to go insert edge loop. I'm going to go right here in the center. Probably, I want to give myself enough geometry to work with. So we'll do something like that. And then we need to isolate this. So what I want is to take that and then isolate that there. And then we're going to add just one more just for a backup, just in case. We'll probably end up deleting that, but okay. So now what we can do, we can look at the inside here and we can see we have all this geo here. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add these to a layer and turn it off. And I'm actually gonna turn on wireframe so I can see what I'm doing. Instead of adding edge loop, can we use bevel for edges? You can. I'm wary of doing that just because sometimes bevel creates kind of like triangle corners, so it creates like little mashed up corners, and I'm not a huge fan of going back and fixing that, so I tend to just add edge loops when I need to. Okay, so let's turn this on. So we don't have a border for the top of this thing yet, so let's add one real quick. So mesh tools, insert edge loop. Let's make sure that lines up with the top here. It does. Okay, so now I'm gonna go face, face, so face, 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 face. Just select as much of that as I can. Okay, so this is gonna be our interior part. So we'll go, we're going to extrude this. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna make it smaller than it needs to be, just because I'm about to circularize this. So we're gonna go to mesh, or edit mesh, circularize. It's going to jack everything up, and we can do a little bit of corrective work on this. We know kind of what these were shaped like, so we can just fix everything. Let's see. Get that lined up there, and then we can take these vertices. I don't know why it's... Okay, there we go. So we'll take these verts. I'm gonna just, oops, try to scale that in. There we go. Okay, that's good. Same thing here. Just gonna straighten all of this out so we don't have really wonky looking geometry. Perfect. Hello, what project are you doing now? This is a live tutorial on how to make a speaker, so feel free to follow along if you'd like to. Let's see. If we make a model... Oh, wait, do you model to IRL scale or bother about it once you get into the more complete scene? I do bother about it more when I get to the scene. If I'm even worried about that in its entirety at all. I don't tend to stress too much about it just because my projects don't require it. But I try to get the models as accurate to what they are, but it's more of like a artistic representation because I'm not in here doing like CAD modeling. If I were trying to do like exact replicas, probably, but that sounds kind of boring to me. All right, so we can scale that out. We can scale it to the size and shape of this guy. Just push to there. Okay, cool. So that's probably going to look terrible. It's actually not too bad. So what we need to do, some of our loops are a little jacked up, so we'll just select it and then deselect these pieces here. And just kind of let's make sure we don't screw anything up. We'll turn on edge slide. And we'll push up to there. Just gonna try to get this flowing better, because right now I don't like the way it's flowing. That's all good. So that's not like super ideal. Now, honestly, I'm just gonna fix one side of this at this point. And then I'm gonna mirror it just to make sure we have everything we need. Okay, that's better. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete half of this thing. And you can see we have an edge loop that runs completely through the model. That way we can easily just divide it in half if we need to. So we'll go mesh tools, or mesh, mirror, not that one, mesh, mirror, bounding box, Z, that's fine. Why am I building in the Z? I don't know. Let's see. How to approach models if they are in measurements, because once I get the test file and the game controller, it's measurements in it. How to approach these models. Just use the measuring tool in Maya. I don't really use it very often, but I'm pretty sure it's in, let's see, where is that? You can also do, I think it's tab, alt tab? No, control tab? I don't remember what it was. There is a measurement tool though. That shows how much I use it. I'd have to look for it, but there is a measurement tool. I do barely use it. I probably should be doing it. Are you live on a different platform right now? Yes, I'm live on YouTube and Twitch. Okay. So, looking at this again, we'll pull up our reference. So we got to work on this part here. So, we already kind of have the bones for this, which is really nice. We can just take these and scale them in. Turn off your constraint. So we do want to, so that does present a little bit of an issue. Let's see. Got to think about this because now we have this kind of an issue here. So I actually think I do want to pull them in just a tad bit. And we're going to do the same thing for the edge loops themselves. Oh, wait a minute. Got to think about this. Yeah, actually, that's fine. Just ever so slightly. So the issue is that we've got these pieces that are supposed to kind of curve around this. So we need to make sure we're maintaining our circle. So I'm going to do a surface slide. Let's try an edge slide, actually. That might help us a little bit more. Yeah. A tad bit more. Might have to add some extra geo there. Let's see. Let's do this. I'm going to extrude this just to give myself the geometry here. This is one of those funky shapes that you do have to kind of think about. Okay. Because ideally, we'll just take this part up here and extrude it in as well. But the problem is that doesn't necessarily work for this. It actually might, though, just because of the way these...
What the hell is even that?
Just because of the way these speakers are actually installed. Instead of doing this, can we circularize here? Doing what? What do you mean? You ever had Maya crash trying to undo a mirror? Yep. I've had Maya crash doing a lot of stupid things. It's just part of the game, unfortunately. Alright, so let's think about this. Because I think what I want to do is I do want to kind of extrude this inwards. And I may end up regretting this. Probably going to end up regretting this. Let's just do it as a whole. How's about that? Okay. So we're going to extrude it in a little bit. Then we're going to have to rebuild a portion of this. Just slightly, though. Actually, really not. Let's see if I can do... This might work for us. So if we can just do this, scale this in slightly. Might have to do a little bit of pulling and tugging here. Turn that off. Always forget to turn off my constraints. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna pull that in. Okay, so that gives us kind of the mounting point for our speaker and everything. So these are generally hollow, which is fun. So we do need to figure out how we're gonna do this as like a hollow object. And what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. And we're going to extrude this in. This will be the backing of it. Leave that open. Always, this is my toxic trait. I always look at something and I go, that'll be easy to make. Okay. So technically, all of this should connect one way or another, because it's all the same kind of like edge loop setup. So we're going to go edge. We're going to bridge some of this together. Just to give us something a little bit more cohesive. And there's actually kind of an issue there. So let's start up here and we'll kind of work our way down to the center. And this is happening because we don't have any geometry to hold there. So let's bridge what we can. And we will figure out what we need. Geometry-wise. Let's actually not do that. This one goes to here. And then I'm feeling like this one needs to go to here. So we're going to go ahead and delete half of this. And just kind of work with this piece here. Okay, so we know we need kind of an edge loop up here. The issue is, if we add one, it's going to add one all the way through. So we need to not do that. We have kind of a converging point there, so that's gonna be fun. Morning in 3D Studio. How you doing, man? I keep closing my other chat. What's up, Mr. Blazeman? Hello. For this round part circle. Yes, you can circularize it. All right, so I need to like visualize this, so we'll just bridge that there. Honestly, this edge loop might be kind of useless. It does provide an important piece. But, let's see, let's think about this. So we think about the way that this is actually built. What we should have is potentially, okay, so we have, wait a minute. So that's right. That's good. We want that. The only other thing I could think of, really, is taking this loop and smashing it into that one, which it isn't the worst thing in the world. Let's try that. It does create a triangle there, but we can kind of work with that. This is just kind of part of the pre-planning. Like, you want to make sure you're planning out your model and like making sure your geometry is actually going to make sense to you later on. So that's why we're spending the time doing this. What we can do is kind of do that. The problem is that doesn't give us much room up here to work with. So, and also jacks that up. Let's not do that. So let's look at the way that's flowing. So really, I can just take that. Let's plan. So if we're going across, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a quad there. We have a triangle here. I do want to figure out what to do with that, but let me finish connecting all this. So we know this will be a 5 point. We don't want that either. This needs to be adjusted slightly. All of this can be kind of pulled up and pulled out. Oh, I'm good. Just working on retro. Nice. How's that going for you? All right, so this one, we don't have an edge loop going through this. Hit the save button. I will save the scene. I haven't saved the scene at all. You probably just saved my butt. Okay. All right, so I want to add an edge loop in here. So mesh tools, insert edge loop. So we're going to go boom, and that's going to do this thing. We don't really want that, but we can fix this. So we can take this target weld. It's going to create a couple triangles, but we're going to just kind of rebuild this a little bit. And then this piece of geo right here currently doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we're going to delete, control delete. That's fine. That shouldn't have actually created any problems. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have an n-gon here, so we can fix that in a minute here. But we're just kind of going through and fixing this. Alfonso, hello, how are you? Let's see, room build deed, now working on some retro computer. Nice, that's cool. What are you working on? We're modeling a speaker. I'm doing like a live tutorial series where people can learn how to do some hard surface modeling that's on more complicated objects than just like some of the basic stuff. So what shortcut are you using to fill those holes? Just the bridge tool. That's all I use. I have a 5-minute timer on my Stream Deck. That's probably an amazing thing to have. Only problem is that I don't see my Stream Deck directly anymore. I used to have it here, and then I moved it over here. Now it's way the hell over here because the computer that runs my stream is way the hell back there. So I have to figure things out. I would love to see character modeling once. I would too. I am not there yet, but I will get there eventually. I also don't know if it's ever going to be something I'm very good at, so I'll give it a try a couple of times, but I can't promise that I'm going to be great at it. In ZBrush. I also would need to buy ZBrush because I don't currently buy it or have it. Okay. So we're going to crush that, pull that down, and then let's look at this. So this guy actually just needs to go away. So control delete, and then I can reroute that because this guy goes right there. So I can go mesh tools, multicut, go boom, boom. That splits that, boom, and boom. And I've just created a loop, which is not the best. So you can see how that's kind of working. Let's think about this though. Do I have to have this? Not necessarily. Let's actually backtrack that. I need to think that one through because this is a weird corner piece. And I want to retain this. But the issue is that... Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I see what I need to do. So let's go mesh tools, multicut. Let's take to boom. That creates that. I think the reality is I just don't have that geo there for that to run all the way through. I see what I did wrong. Okay. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna go right here. Boom. Okay. Q escape. I'm gonna take that one. Control delete. Mesh tools. Gonna go back to multi-cut. I know I should be using my little menus. I don't use them. I'm bad at it. I'm sorry. Okay. So that creates a loop. Almost. We're getting there. So we want this to travel through the model entirely. But after circularizing, it will give more works on this edge flow and want to create a loop manually. That's why you have to pre-plan. So the reason why I already did it is because I kind of pre-planned where I need to add support, because I already know this is going to be a box, right? So I need to be able to add support on either edges, on all the outer edges anyway. So because of that, I pre-plan and then I do my circularize. You can save it to the end. That pops up so many times, but I really don't recommend it. Okay. So I know what my issue is here. So we're going to actually take these and delete these because we didn't really have a quad set up here. Okay, so we're going to go boom, boom, bridge. And that's going to be a bridge right there. Or is it not? No. Let's think about that. It's a little bit different when you have a circle like this. Because we don't want to add that geometry there. But really, what we should be doing is like this. And then we can just add a piece of geo here. So we'll go mesh tools, insert edge loop. We're going to do this. But this is going to need to be, hold on. It's going to need to be adjusted a little bit. Because really, ideally, we just want edit mesh, mesh tools, multi-cut. Let's do this manually. So that takes care of the back side. We maintain that actual flow there. So now if I select this entire thing, it loops through, except for up here for some reason. So we need to figure out why that is. Oh, it's because that's not connected yet. Okay, so we'll fix that. You always create your own custom shelf tab with the most used tools. I'm amazed you don't use the modeling toolkit. Yeah, I really don't. I just never really played with it all that much. I mean, I do use the, like this one quite a bit. I'm just real bad with using these things. I always forget what these are called. I don't know. I'm like, it's like trying to relearn, right? So like, I never really learned to use them as much as like I do my normal stuff. So I'm faster with the normal stuff than I am trying to relearn, you know, the proper way to do it. So it's just a little bit different. I'm modeling a Japanese temple and has some dragon wood engravings that I want my model to have. Do you know of any good tutorials on ZBrush that may help? This is uncharted territory for me. I really don't, unfortunately. I don't follow a ton of people who do ZBrush yet. Like, I follow a couple, but they're all mostly character and creature artists. And what you're talking about is more like architectural art and design. So really, yeah, I wish there was a good resource that I had for you, but I don't. Do I watch movies? All the time. I love movies. Okay. So that's good. We just need to fix this. So we have this little extra loop down here. So we go mesh tools, multi-cut. No. We need to figure out where we're going to put this. Because looking at this, honestly, hold on a second. I think I may have just created another loop. I did create a loop. Okay. Let's fix that then. I think I went a little too far. So let's figure out where this is running. So that runs right to there. So that needs to connect there. So this technically needs to be like over here somewhere. So this is incorrect. Okay. So you need to go boom. And then this is the issue. Okay. That's what we were trying to do wrong. Okay. Beautiful. So the problem that we have here is that we've created this loop, but we have nothing to connect this to. So to make that into a quad, what we can do is we can try this. This is probably not the best idea. Let's see. No, I don't like that. It would work technically, but I don't like it. Unless we run it through the model entirely, but that's going to go to there and cause another issue. So let's not. Let's actually look at the front of this, because we do have this n-gon here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which tells me I need something running through this model. Which is kind of crappy. Because that is currently part of the reason why this is not working. Let's fix this up here too real quick. Let's see. Because technically, that's that. So that's working. It's just ugly. Let's see. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. So we know that's a problem. All right, multi-cut. All right, so that kind of quads that off. That's good. And we're gonna bring this to the front here, and we're gonna figure out how to connect this back in. Okay. So this kind of has to do with the same issue that we're having up front, is we have these like pieces that go this way, and we don't want those. So we're gonna delete them. And looking at how we connected this, I'm going to slightly rebuild this. I think, wait a minute. What did I just do? Yeah, let's just not do the same thing that we just did. Okay. So, this guy folds around to there, so that's where that should connect. But the issue here is we now have this guy, and then we don't know where this guy goes. So this guy is on its own, which is actually probably okay. So let's go mesh tools. We'll just do an insert edge loop here. Nope, it's gonna make me cut that, so we'll do a multi-cut. And this is one of those things that like I spend a lot of time thinking about, is like how I want my mesh to actually flow. And I promise if you spend the time doing this, when you get to your UV, it's going to be so much easier. This be a car stream. This is a speaker stream. Why the model should not have n-gons or triangles and quads. What will it do? So it's kind of like best practice, especially when you have objects that are like deformable, to not have them. You can technically on flat objects have n-gons and triangles and all that stuff. I just personally try to avoid them as much as possible. It kind of comes down to just like, what's your personal preference? And that's just mine. So I'm going to extrude that. Okay, so we're starting to get that shaping in there, what we wanted. Oop. 1 second here. Good. All right. And I think that handles that. So that's better. That goes through. That goes through. That's perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're good. So that fixes all that. So that's good. I think we still have one hole to deal with, which is this one. So we just need to figure out what we need to do here. This one's a little bit different, just because I know if we select this, we get the entire loop. So we're functionally working. but also kind of not. So let's think about this. Because the ideal way would be just to add a piece of geo in here, but that's going to create another problem along this circular edge here. Let's also fix that because it's driving me nuts. Okay. All right. All I want is for this to be a quad. So let's do a little bit of experimentation here. So that kind of creates that. Which technically, let's try this. This might actually work. Hold on. This will create a quad right here. So we have a quad. This might work. I just didn't think about doing this. Let's make sure that's still functional. That loop is functional. The only problem is that. That's kind of an issue. I don't like that. But what I can do now is I can do this. I can extrude this. Just go straight down. And then we'll take this, just move it down a bit, target weld it. And yes, I just messed up again, but that's okay. What we can do, let's look at this. So if I take this edge, select it, that's where that rolls to. So that's still problematic. But adding an edge loop is not going to be an option here, because if we go to Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, it's going to create a new one there. I mean, technically, yes, we could do that, but the problem is it's not correcting the actual issue that we're having here. So we need to actually correct that problem. And looking at this, trying to figure out what exactly happened here. Ooh, Master, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate it. Let's see. Why should we not? Okay, I agree with having good flow. For my environment class, they told us that we should download assets of the scene and texture them, but I'm choosing to model all myself, so I could truly say it's mine. And that's awesome. Like, props to you. Sangskar, morning. Hello, how are you? It's pretty hard to do an environment, like modeling your entire, like all yourself. That's brutal. So, props to you. I think I'm going about this wrong. And I'm not really sure. I always hate working with circles. Here we go. That's better. Okay. I was just going about it wrong. Because that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, still quad. Smooth, that looks fine. Cool. All right, so we have our speaker body, kind of. One. All right, so we're going to go Mesh Tools, Edit Mesh, or yeah, Mesh, Mirror. We go to bounding box. We know it's in the Z. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. And if we smooth it, we can see we have some really nice support. The topology looks awesome. I'm not seeing anything crazy standing out to me. So we're good to go to the next step, which is going to be modeling the little speaker pieces. So we're going to start with the woofer, just because the woofer is going to be kind of the easier one to work with. Because it's basically just all cylinders. So the question is how do I want to model this? Because there's a frame and then there's a piece that's glued on. So let's look at, we'll start with the frame. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull a cylinder in here. And I think I can still adjust 60. Nope. I love that Maya sometimes lets you do that, and then other times is like, nah. All right, so let's pull a cylinder in here. I really don't know how many I'm gonna need to keep this good, so I'm gonna go on the high round and just go 80. I know it's a lot, but it's okay. So we're gonna delete the tops. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go vertex. So this is gonna be one of the only tools that I use for this that you have to actually buy. Topology's horrible, man. You solve one quad, makes 3 more triangles to solve. Yeah, it's a pain. I've gotten better at it to an extent, but it does still like make me want to tear my hair out. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Now we're good. Okay. Let's see. All right, so this tool, anyway. This is quad fill hole. It's there. I do have a short video on how to get this on my Instagram, my YouTube. It's a really nice tool, and it just does all this for you. So if you're a user of Blender, you know how that works. So now we're gonna go ahead and pancake this. And this is gonna be a really weird shape because it's 3-dimensional and it's also kind of like hollow-ish. So this is gonna be kind of weird to build. Now that I'm thinking about it. In fact, I'm gonna actually redo that because I'm gonna make my life a little bit easier by adding an inset instead. That way I already have the ring kind of pre-built. Because I just don't want to hate my life today. All right. And honestly, it is going to be easier to just deselect things this way. Because there are so many freaking faces on this. All right. I'm going to do one more kind of inset here just to give us a little bit more to work with. And then I'm going to pull this out. Delete it. And we're going to go edge, edge, merge, tolerance. Okay, just make sure everything connected. Oh, we missed one. There's always one. I don't know why. Okay. Nope, there's 2 this time. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Cool. So if you've ever looked at these, the way they work, they have a little lip on the outer side. So we'll go to Mesh Tools, Insert. I'm going to add that little lip in. And this is kind of what they glue the speaker cone to. So we're just going to add that in. And then we're going to start working on this. So I need to look at this again. So we need to kind of go up in like a cone fashion. And it has to be thin. So maybe about right there. So we'll extrude. It's probably good. Let's look at this again. So there's a flat portion. So we'll go Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in. And then we're going to, if it'll let me actually select it, thank you. We're going to do an extrusion, pull that in, and then it's going to go up again. So just kind of try to get that flat. That's actually a very flat portion. Okay, cool. Sweet. And then what I can do is go Insert Edge Loop, go boom. We're just going to shape the body first. Let's see. It's crazy that it's only $2 for how good it is. No, it's honestly super cheap. I know there's like a free one out there. I just couldn't find it, but it's cheap. Like $2 is nothing. Sacrifice Starbucks for a day and go buy that plugin because it's worth it. Plus, it supports a guy who makes some really good plugins. Okay, so this one goes up. Same kind of thing though. Kind of coils in, but it also has like kind of a bevel to it. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this interior Gonna do it with the edge first. Just kind of pull that in. And we'll just pull this in one more time. So this is where the magnet connects to the speaker. So we have our little speaker body housing thing. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we'll go Mesh Tools, Insert Edge. We're gonna isolate again some of this. And then this thing has 1, 2, 3 large gaps. So from the center, we need to decide, because it looks like there's a pretty large, so we're gonna try to do this as like evenly as possible. So this pretty large gap, I'm gonna leave, I don't know, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe. So 3 on this side, 3 on this side. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. And we'll leave another gap of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that leaves a massive gap, so I don't like that. So I think we're going to make this one a little bit bigger. So we're going to go minimize there, go, 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 go. Take one from there, add 2 here. Just kind of try to level that out a little bit. I still don't really like that, so I could spend the time to like mathematically figure all this out, but I really don't care that much. And so what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna use the what do you call it? The extrude, special extrude. I'm gonna save this real quick though, just in case this breaks it. I'll pay anything for auto UV plugin. Just my old UV dry and done. So, Alfonso, I have been experimenting with Rhizome, and Rhizome has honestly been amazing, and it's super fast. That's one good way to do it. Hey, make Blinn is default material. I think I remember looking it up that you couldn't change the default material in Maya, but I may be wrong. Otherwise, I'm not really sure. I don't know why you would really want Blinn, though, just because it's so shiny. All right, so we're going to use the special extrude, or the, I forget what it's actually called. Smart extrude. And this always runs like crap. So... why did they change this? Why? Was there a need to change this? What is this? Why does that float there? Why did they do this? Are you not... oh, maybe it's because I have multiple, like, back-facing selections selected. I kind of hate that. Let's do this. We will extrude it. Just enough. And then we'll take it, and we will smart extrude it. Why is that not doing what it's supposed to? Oh wow, that worked terribly. Yeah, that worked awesome. Okay, we're not gonna do the smart extrude because I can't with that thing. It's fine. Okay. Let's just figure out. Okay, so we know we need this one and this one. Scroll down here. Right up here. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. And boop. Do the same thing over here. I'm just gonna kind of like try to manually do this, unfortunately. because Smart Extrude doesn't want to work. We'll go bam, bam, and then bam. Oop. This one. Just to give me what I need. Okay, so that is awesome. Nope. There we go. And for painting the faces like this, all I'm doing is holding tab. Alright, let's do this the way that actually works. And we'll just delete it. Okay. We should be able to almost merge these successfully. Yeah, we're a little... Oh, that's interesting. I messed up on that one. Not a big deal, though. Press 4 on your keyboard to go wireframe and select it. That's fair, too. Could have done that. Somehow I screwed up anyway. Alright, let's just delete that.
What the hell is even that?
I agree, Sharky. What the hell is even that? That's a fantastic idea, too. I'm glad that I made it like a familiar sound effect. Yeah, let's do that in a minute here. Okay, so file, save scene. Let's see. Do you plan on doing an exploded view of the model? Yes, I do. Which is why I'm adding this much detail to begin with, because I like doing stuff like that. I know it's not like everybody's cup of tea. They'd rather just have something modeled and done, but I don't know. It's kind of fun to me. Here's what I'm gonna... Let's just do this. We're just gonna take that, extrude it. Nope. Hold on. I hate doing this, but if I have stuff that's not set up, this is not going to be symmetrical like I want it. Okay. Alright, so... face. Okay. So we know for a fact that's that, and then if I go down here, I'm missing a selection there. So that fixes that, and then this one was also missing one. Okay. I must have just like accidentally deselected them. So delete, make sure we don't have any more weirdness. No, we don't. Okay, cool. That fixes that instead of trying to manually do that myself. And then we're just going to merge these. Alright, sweet. That should be that. And then if I smooth that now, it's looking beautiful. Okay. Aiming for a more movie/3D effect. Yes. I'm honestly surprised you didn't make it a Windows crashing sound. That would have probably stressed me out. Can make a duplicate. Yes, you could duplicate special for this part if you wanted to. I just tend to not do that just because it's more of a pain to figure out. Okay, so we're going to take this outer edge up here because this is kind of a curved part. Let's go Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop real quick. We're going to add a little outer ring there. And then we're going to just slightly curve that. And then I want to bring it up one more time. So this one has multiple. So it's got clip points where the actual trim clips in, and it's got holes, which we may not worry too much about the holes. Still might. I don't really know. Depends on how far I really want to go with this. So let's look at this. We have good. That's probably not royalty free. Yeah, definitely not. I'm gonna like it though because it sounded cool. Sharky, I figured out a thing today with StreamerBot. I'm very proud of myself. It took me a lot of research. All right, so for the most part, we can actually kind of finish this part off, even though we're not doing the circles just yet. But we do want to just kind of get everything supported that needs to be supported. And yes, you can bevel these if you want to. It's just personal preference that I don't. Alright, so we'll go boom, boom, boom. Let's support that. There. Nope. And there. Same thing here. And then if I smooth that, shouldn't have any... Okay, so that didn't get supported there. Okay. Smooth. Alright, so that would be our little speaker body assembly thing. So pretty good, not bad. The only thing I'm noticing here is that these could be more curved. I don't think I'm really super stressed about that though. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna rotate that 90 degrees. And we're gonna just assemble this thing as we go. So generally the rule is like you don't want to have a bunch of high poly stuff next to low poly stuff, but with cylinders, you kind of throw that rule out the window. Because you have to add a lot of extra edge loops into cylinders to get them to actually have the support they need to look good. Otherwise they like collapse on themselves and they're terrible. All right, so that's good. That sits flush right there. We'll probably come back and add screw holes. So not super worried about that. Hold on, I just missed messages. Let's see. Are you into the museum project right now? I'm gonna be doing that on Friday. I had to take a break from it because it was stressing me out. But yeah, I'll be working that on Friday. I will be building some of the buildings. Hello, sir. I've been following you for a long time, just learning Maya and 3ds Max, and wanted to get into gaming. Can you suggest me where I can best learn best of Maya? Well, you can learn on my YouTube, which has a good couple of tutorials now. Or there are other people like on Mars 3D, JL Musi, Holly's Maya tutorials. Like there's a couple of people now. Good morning, Revimger. Hope I'm saying that right. Question: I'm having this issue where every time I bridge divisions are always set at 7. So go to mesh. Go to is it edit mesh? Yeah, edit mesh. Go in here, and then just reset the tool. So this button right here, or this little divisions thing, is probably just set to 7. This model will be full. Yep, I'm going to do... So this is going to be kind of like my Wednesday streaming project, right? This is going to be the live tutorial that we do on Wednesdays. And it will go through texturing and everything like that. Do you have any character artist colleagues? How hard is it to get a job when the main things you say that you could make it to get you hired? I do. Not really a colleague, just more of a friend. But Jared Chavez is a great character artist and creature artist. If you're not following him, follow him. He's got some really good tutorials. He's got some amazing work. And he does go live every once in a while, which is really cool. Thank you very much, sir. We'll follow you on YouTube next. Yeah, no problem. Aside from anatomy and good design. Yeah. No, anatomy is one of the more difficult parts of all that. It's what I struggle with. Okay, so let's do... We're going to do this interior piece, but I actually need like one more piece of... Hold on. Car speaker. I just need like the interior portion of this. Speaker. Diagram. Oh, here we go. It's perfect. Copy link address. Or no. Oh, it's a GIF. There we go. Copy image. And paste image. All right, there we go. This is what I needed. Okay. So, got a couple of things we got to add here. All right. Pull this up on my other screen. Let's see. minimize that. Okay, good there, good there. All right, everything's good. Okay, so we need to look at the way that this is built. So we need to build the actual kind of cone itself. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a cylinder. And the beautiful thing is with this one, it can be actually fairly low poly. I'm going to up it a little bit, just to 30, just to give me a little bit more to work with. But otherwise, I'm not super stressed about it. Okay. So same thing here. We're going to delete these. We're going to use that same plugin. Oops. And we're going to go boom, apply, and apply. And then we're going to save because I haven't done it in a minute. All right. So these are usually pretty thin. And so we already kind of have like the base build of this. So what we need to do is go to insert edge loop. We're going to go add an edge loop here and up here. Okay. Reason we're doing that is we're going to pull all of this geometry down. And that gives us just a little bit more extra support. This way we don't really have to mess around with any extruding or anything like that. We can just use what we have. And it's a cone, so it's pretty easy to replicate the shaping of it. Okay. So we're going to pull that in. Pull this down. Not super far. In fact, this one's actually pretty... It's not that deep. Okay. And then we're going to build this interior portion. So, I'm going to go Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. We're going to just add an edge loop in here because there is a slight raised edge around this whole thing. So, we'll select that. Just paint select all this junk. Not that one. I will deselect that in a second. Make sure I didn't grab anything on the bottom. We're going to extrude this up a little bit. And then we're going to deselect this ring. We're going to extrude that up a bit. And then we're going to pull it in. Let me feel that. It is slightly curved, so... Something like that. I think that works pretty well, actually. Okay, so that's the kind of interior cone. We're going to combine both the rubber ring and the cone in like one model, just so I don't have to really stress about it, because we can separate those textures later. So let me just look at this. So there is like a rubber gasket that goes around the speaker. And so to emulate that, what we're going to do is we're going to go boom. We're going to extrude that slightly. It's really not much because it's a very thin gasket. And then we're going to go Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. And then right about here, there's the kind of the flex bumper. This is what allows the speaker to kind of flex out. So we'll go up, go one more, and then we're going to scale that in a bit. Okay. And that's going to give us our cone. So let's go ahead and add our support loops here. We want to make sure that these are actually pretty sharp. These ones don't have to be as sharp because it's kind of a rubber, like, it's not really a pinch, it's more of a, like an application of rubber, so it's like a fold. So it should give us that nice, like, rounded look. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so same thing down here. Just want to make sure we're adding these supports. And then there we have it. So now, down here, because we need to actually look at the way this is structured, this generally has like a little bit of a drop. I'm not going to do anything crazy down here. And then we'll go G to duplicate that action. And then we're going to pull that in. This is where the actual coil itself, the voice coil, is going to sit inside. And it gets like glued together. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. Okay. 1G. And then we need to do the same thing here just to kind of support the cone a bit. Because there is an actual like cone shape to this. Okay, cool. Gives us that. So we can now rotate that 90 degrees. -90. And we can turn on our point lock. And just try to put that there, my god. Why won't you go to the center? Let's do gridlock. There we go. Okay. And we'll look at this. Turn that off, please. Okay, cool. So we can see how that just fits right over that. And that gives us that nice backing portion where the speaker's actually going to be. So, awesome. Now what we got to do is we got to build the kind of like compression. There's like a little compression plate thing that goes up in here. Fits up in there. So I'm going to actually put a layer on this real quick. So speaker, so we'll call this just woofer underscore cone. Save. And then if you haven't done it yet already, go ahead and name your stuff. I'm going to do it real quick. Cone, just because I want to make sure that I am naming everything. Woofer underscore body. What is this? This is... We don't actually care about those. And this is the speaker body. Alright, cool. And save. Let's see. What you get figured. Oh, it's how to do like subscriber only stream redeems, which is kind of cool. Question, I'm having issues where every time I bridge divisions... Oh no, we already did that. This model... Alright, is something going on here? No, there we go. Okay, we're good. Perfect. Alright, so that's good. We're going to turn off the woofer cone for right now, and we're going to make this little centerpiece. This is going to be really easy to make too, so we're going to just do another cylinder. And then, doesn't really need... Yeah, it doesn't really need a whole lot, so I think we'll continue with just doing 30. Just to kind of keep it cohesive enough. This is actually a very thin piece, so we're going to delete that. Move this out here. We're going to quad fill it real quick. I'm just going to turn that off. Same thing here. All right, and then what we're going to do, select all of this. Deselect that. And then we're going to bring this to the center. So probably right about there, I'm thinking. Okay, that's good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, but we're going to do the options box. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do equal distance from the edge, multiple edge loops, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll do about 5, which means I need 10. So if I click here, that goes boom, adds my 10. And the reason we did that is because now I can select 5 of these. And I can just extrude, scale, extrude, and scale, and pull them down a bit. Okay, cool. So if we smooth that, should look fine. Really nothing crazy special here. One last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert an edge loop. Not like that. Make sure you reset that tool when you do that. Nope. There we go. And then we'll just add the little support thing here for the coil. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. Just support this guy real quick. These are all relatively basic shapes, so like nothing's too crazy here. The speaker box is what gets kind of annoying. Okay. Cool. So that handles the kind of the back end portion of it, which this is just a piece of paper. What tool did you use for adding those edges? So that's the edge loop tool. You just change it to the here, watch. So you go to insert edge loop, you just change it to multiple edge loops, and you can just dial in the number that you need. All right, so we'll rotate that. We'll go -90. We're gonna snap it in place again. And then hopefully, let's see, turn that off. Scale it, and then this just kind of sits out here. Okay, so cool, that handles that. Now we just need to do the little voice coil, which is going to be probably, I don't know, do I want to do it as like a coil, or do I want to do like, how crazy do I want to go with this is the question really I should be asking myself. And I guess I'm going to go kind of crazy. So, woofer, rear flange, I guess. I don't know what that's called. Never knew. Yeah, it's a great tool. I found that out a while ago. That you can add multiple edge loops. It was quite the revelation for me. I was actually kind of mad because I used to do that by myself. Okay, so let's go ahead and build the little cone piece, because I'm gonna go ahead and be stupid about this. These are generally hollow, so I'm not gonna worry about quad filling in at all. Wow! 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 Okie dokie. Sharky found all the new alerts. Going forward, all of my alerts will be movie-based, or my redemptions will be movie-based. So when I find more, I'll add more. Carlitos, hello, how are you? Okay. So this is going to be the kind of like, it's usually a piece of paper or like cardboard. Speakers are actually built really like kind of crappily. Sometimes it's plastic, but most speakers that I've ever torn apart, it's like paper. Or at least a thicker cardboard. But this is what has a copper coil wrapping around it. So it is kind of important. So we'll do this. Question is do I want to size it up? Yeah, let's size it up now. So if I go 90... We're going to, once again, just snap to the center. I'm trying to keep everything snapped. Okay, so we'll scale this. And we'll be good there. Just want that to kind of make contact with it, and then we need to make sure it reaches our woofer cone. And it doesn't. And the woofer cone's connection point is way too big. So let's fix that real quick. And I'm kind of making this difficult on myself, but it's fine. Just gonna paint all of this in here real quick. This is a dumb way of doing this. Don't do this way, if you can avoid it. But I'm impatient. And I can never get the grow selection to work properly, so I'm also kind of, like, bugged by that. Okay. Now we can fix that. So we're gonna pull that back a bit. Okay, that's slightly better. Okay. Okay, so that's our little voice coil container thingy. Perfect. That handles that. What are you working on? I'm new here. Well, so today what I'm doing, so I started like a new series since you're new here, where we're going to be doing a live tutorial every Wednesday. So we are building a desk or a like shelf speaker. We're also doing this in like a very like a way that you could model this and then explode it if you wanted to, so you can have all the pieces and interior pieces available. So this is basically just a really high detailed speaker model. And we're using this speaker because I literally have one sitting right here and one over here. So I have reference right in front of my face. So it just works out really well. Are you an audiophile? A little bit. I like Klipsch. I have a lot of Klipsch stuff. Yeah. It's because paper is easier to eat. Are you saying we should be eating our speakers? Alright, so we're going to duplicate this guy because this is what we're going to build our coil on. And what we're going to do is we're going to go create. We're going to go to, it's in here somewhere. Yeah, helix. Alright, so here's our little helix. So we're going to rotate him 90. And we're going to snap him to that piece in the center here. Where are we at? Okay, let's go. Boom. Okay. So we'll go here. Don't really care about that so much. All right, so now we get to play with this guy a bit. So we're going to go multiple coils. Width, we're going to change this to like 0.1 for right now. Nope. JK. Radius. 0.1. Even less. 0.5. A little bit more coils. 15. Just a little bit more. Come on. 18? I just want it to be barely... There we go. Okay, that's fine. So we'll just wrap this over this. And then we can just kind of make this function a little bit better. So we'll go 2.2 in the height. Again, we'll just add like 0.5. There we go. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to kind of like route these wires. So the way these work is there's two wires, one on either end, which is what the connections go to. And you want to kind of break them off, spin them around. So that's what we're going to kind of work on right now. If I want to try hard surface model as beginners, what like model should I do? Anything that you're comfortable with. Choose things that are like somewhat easy to model. Like I recommend people choose things that they have like at home so they can look at it and pick it up and kind of work with it. If not, you could do my fan tutorial. It's a little bit of a longer tutorial, but you'll have a nice finished asset at the end of it. And just things that you have lying around your house are really good ways to learn how to like start modeling. I think grid snapping is X. Is it really? Nah, is it? Oh shit, you're right. Look at that. Perfect. I'm going to be doing that from now on. Ideally, both of these are pointing... Yeah, hey, they are. Look at that. Cool. Okay, so... we're going to go ahead and just extrude these off. I'm going to give them just enough support. So I have stuff to work with. Alright, so let's pull the speaker out of the body now. I am upside down and I did not realize it. Because this is where we have to actually model some stuff. Okay, 3. Actually, there's no support there and I don't like that. Let's fix that real quick. Okay, cool. Alright, sweet. And just sharpen that up a little bit. Alright. So, we're going to take our coil. And this is probably going to... yeah, it's going to need to be adjusted a bit. And unfortunately, I don't think I can... oh, shoot, it might let me. Oh, holy crap, it might. Okay. Let's just look at the height here. Let's go 1.2. Okay. It still has my wires, which is awesome. Radius, we're gonna have to coils we're gonna have to drop, so let's do 16.5. I hope that doesn't screw me up too badly. Okay, so it's just gonna delete what I had. That's all right. That's fine. I can redo that. So we'll do 13. I'm gonna do a 0.5 though. The 0.5 is nice because it gives us that nice loop around. So I should have one there and one there. Yeah. And we'll just change our height. Go to 1.6. 1.4. That's fine. All right, so same thing we're gonna do here. Face. Face. I just created a bunch of things, so I'm gonna save real quick. I'm gonna extrude off. Okay. That gives me enough to work with now. Okay. Scroll that real quick. XVC all snap. Oh, perfect. Where did I put my water? There it is. I will have to remember those. Our mouths emulate speakers for a reason. True. Let's see. You mean speakers emulate our mouths? Hmm? If I want to try, let's see. We already answered that one. It's V. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I'm caught up. Okay. So what we need to do now is this little guy. This little shitty thing that I always end up breaking. Let's see. And you know what? There's a piece that we're missing here, but it's okay that we waited to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go there. We're going to go up here. I'm actually going to take this and just extrude this little piece out, because that's going to hold this. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. That should be okay. Yeah, perfect. Maybe. Add a little bit more support there. That one's gonna be a little bit rough just because it's kind of, it was unplanned, but that's all right. It's gonna be mostly hidden anyway, so it's not a huge deal. So what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and grab a cube. Okay, focus on that, scale it out. We're just gonna design that little plate real quick. Then we go mesh tools. We're going to do an offset, just to offset to there. Provide that support that we need. And we're going to do this little hole right here. So that gives us everything we need there. And then I can just simply extrude this in. Then we can go to circularize it. Oh my god, it actually worked for once. Okay. Delete. If you're following along and I'm going too fast, just let me know. Okay, so the next thing is, let's just scale this in just a tad bit. Oh, we kind of... Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. Alright, so we're going to scale that, and then we're just going to go and plop this in here. Okay. And then go up in this view. That's not super helpful, actually. Yeah, none of those are going to be super helpful, so. Okay, so that sits on there. Then we just got to do the little plugs. Now the speaker came before the egg. All right, good. Good to know. Good stuff. All right, so now we got these little plugs we got to make. So each one is different, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying. But I might cheat that just because I'm going to be a little bit lazy. If you want to make them the same way, go ahead. Just add some subdivisions to that guy. Pull him out and pull him up. And flatten it. And this one should be pretty easy. I just need to look at the shape of it. So we have an oval, 2 little extensions, and then the rest is square with a little indent. So let's plan for the oval. Insert edge loop. Let's go here. Take this, scroll that in. Okay. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. We're going to add one here. Down here somewhere. We'll just do an offset up here. That gives us that support there. And then this one, because we're doing an oval, we're going to do this a little odd. We're going to take these pieces. Going to extrude them in. And then we are going to circularize it. It's gonna... maybe that's not the best option. Let's do this instead. Thought I was gonna be like clever, but it's probably just best to not try to be clever. Just kind of level that out. Again, still going for like good, decent topology. All right, we'll extrude that in. Delete. That's pretty cool. We're going to extrude out. So, okay, so here's the thing. So we do have this. If I extrude out there, I'm not going to be able to really support those without ruining my oval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of collapse it a little bit. Give myself this space up here. And then this is where I'm going to put those little teeth. Because I don't think, yeah, they don't actually align with it at all. In fact, really, this needs to be smaller anyway. So, go insert edge loop. We'll just go right about here, right about here. Okay, and those just stop the little plugs. Oh, Madness, thank you for whatever that was. What happened? Cheap viewers. Ah, perfect. Thank you for the ban, Madness. Okay, so that's awesome. So we got that going. Only other thing we got to really do is just add the kind of the bend to this. So what we're going to do is we'll just take this, extend it, rotate it. We're going to do it kind of like ugly first. And mesh tools, insert edge loop. Don't really have to do it that way. It's just the way I chose to do it. I also think I did it wrong. No. I just did it too much, really. So we'll go vertex. Just kind of correct that a bit. And that'll be fine. And then we can just support it real quick. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. Again, I'm not going to really build both of them. I'm going to just build one of them and call it good. Because I'm not super stressed about it. But if you're following along and you want to, go ahead. Most speakers, especially like cheap ones, they're generally the same tong or prong anyway. I hate when Maya does that sometimes. So, did you want to add that edge loop to something that you're not even clicked on? Go ahead. Let's do it. All right. So, we'll support this guy real quick. And just a little bit of support up here. And smooth it. And beautiful. It's just a little thick. I'm going to thin it out a little bit. Okay. So let's put this over here now. It's a little bit too big. Ooh, and we forgot to add the little bump. So let's do that real quick. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. So we can do the same thing here just because this is already supported and good to go. We can just extrude this in. Mesh, circularize. And then we're just going to extrude it out a bit. And that should give that a nice, yeah, it gives it that cool lump. So there we go. We're going to rotate this all weird just because this is a really weird angle. Okay. That's pretty good. Just duplicate that, put it up here. Okay, so we have our two little prongs that hold the wires in. Good to go. 24 prong? What? Shenanigans, they were offering fame. I mean, I wouldn't mind a little fame, wouldn't you? Clip GeoShader might be cool to show the inside details. Yes, that would actually be really cool. I should definitely try to do that. I didn't even think about doing that. Good morning, Mohit. How are you? Sorry, I missed your message. Let's see. Boom. What's up, Z? How's it going, man? How you doing? All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna hook these up. Do I know which one's which? Nope. Does it matter? Not really. So we're gonna just kind of plug these wires up here. It's not gonna matter a whole lot because you're not gonna see this part. Unless you really dig into this model, which by all means, I guess. Okay. And then we'll just go into our top view now. And just make this actually look like a wire. Let's look at that. Let's rotate that. Just so we don't get too much like crushing. Because if you don't rotate these, they kind of tend to crush a little bit. So let's just keep adding these. And just kind of try to make that make sense. Okay, that's good. That one looks like it's coming through the body. Yeah, so we need to fix that. We definitely don't want to see that. Okay, just want to make sure I didn't have anything selected. All right. It's okay to kind of screw with your coil a little bit here. Because when we smooth it, they just look like little wires running to their little prongs. Except for that. That's a problem. So let's fix that real quick. Because that's actually not even in the model. Mesh tools, insert edge loops. See, all of this detail does not have to be massively high polygon. You just want to make sure you have enough. Maya's smoothing will actually handle a good portion of kind of correcting it. Three. Cool. So, if I'm correct, that might be kind of... Oh, the magnet. We didn't do the magnet. Okay, hold on. Gotta do the magnet. I'm well, thank you. How you be? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good. I wouldn't... Any monument would be glorious. How's life treating you, Z? Hopefully good. Alright, so let's build the magnet real quick. I'm upside down again. So we're going to call this the voice coil, the cylinder, voice coil, cone, I guess? I don't know. We're going to save it. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and do the magnet. Which the magnet's pretty simple. I just did. I just saved. I'm still being... I'm being good. I promise. That's honestly the best redemption I've ever put on this channel. Because one of these days, it's probably going to save my ass. Alright, so we got our magnet. These are usually very simple. They are just a cylinder of metal with a magnetic strip on the outside of it. And they are sometimes really thick, and they are sometimes really not thick. They have a slight bevel to them. And then there's like usually a hole in the center here. So what we'll do... I don't know if I have any reference of that. Not really. But there's the ring of magnet. Ring of magnet. So I haven't even saved my pure F scene yet. So let's do this. We're going to pull this into the center. Pull it in. Scale it in. Nope. And then we're going to just add a little bit of secondary detail here. Because generally these have like a little dip thing. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a little divot. Okay. But that's, you know, that's a magnet. Just to add a little bit more detail to this. Let's go ahead and pull that in. Alright, cool. That works. Oh, man. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. We're going to go ahead and support it off real quick. Should always be your last step, is to support your models. Just because at that point you know, like, I'm done with this mesh. I don't really need to do anything. I might have to make a minor change, but Nothing that's gonna like fully require me to rebuild it. Okay. Again, feel free to use the bevel tool if you want to. I just don't use it very much because not the biggest fan of it unless I need a bevel. Okay. All right, we have a magnet. Going to rotate it 90. Da-da. Okay, same thing. We're gonna use X to grid snap. And then pull it back. So with this guy, he needs to envelop that a little bit. Which I'm not a massive fan of that yet, so hold on a second. So we're going to select these outer edge loops for these outer face rings. And we're just going to scale that in a bit because it's a little too wide. We can still have that be like thick, but just not. There we go. That's better. All right, so that's the. I think that's it, honestly, for that speaker. Yeah, that's kind of all of the components of a speaker. So awesome. So we're good with that part. So we can kind of just like set that in there. All right. And I missed half of it. So let's set that in there. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and then I'm going to unfortunately have to cancel end stream a little early today. I know I normally do 3 hours on Wednesdays, but I got some stuff I got to do. Doing well, thank you. How you doing? Done with school, tech college, or welding. And I'm out working all the time. I don't know what everyone's up to. I mean, it sounds like you're keeping busy, man. That's good. But, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. It's been a good night. Sorry to cut it short tonight, but wanted to make sure I got at least most of this kind of built for the lower cone. Next Wednesday, we will continue it. If you guys want to watch, on Friday, I'll be working on my Pixar RenderMan project, so got that coming up too. Plenty of stuff coming up down the barrel after midnight stream. After midnight stream? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? But I appreciate you guys for joining. I hope you like this format. I hope you enjoy the kind of live tutorial series. I'm sure if I do a little bit better job at advertising it next time, we might get a little bit more people like interested in it. I didn't really advertise it today, so that's probably my bad. But other than that, everyone who hung out tonight, thank you so much. If you guys are working on this and you're not in the Discord, make sure you join the Discord and share your progress. Be really interested to see that. But other than that, everybody, you guys have a wonderful night. I will see you all live again on Friday. And we're going to go ahead and end Instagram, just because that's the first to go. Appreciate you all being here. All right. And then YouTube, you guys too, thank you again so much for watching and hanging out tonight. Looks like it was actually a really good night on YouTube too. So appreciate you guys. Normally I go for 3 hours, but again, I got to cut it kind of close tonight. So I'll talk to you guys all on Friday. Maybe I'll do 3 hours on Friday. We'll see how it goes. But you guys have a wonderful night.